bright and fast arcadey racing which meshes well with the music to create a huge amount of tracks. This is Riff Racer, or previously known as Drive Any Track, a welcome change as the new name is far more descriptive given that every track is created based on the beats appearing in whatever song you import. It is your usual rhythm-based affair with most connection to the likes of AudioSurf more than others, but the ultimate execution is very different as instead of the player reacting to the beat, the track is formed on it, and instead you are left chasing the beat, desperately trying to hit the ramps correctly and using the boosts to keep in sync. Like with most racing games, it's critical to strike the right note with the handling, and Riff Racer knows exactly what it's trying to be, a fast-paced arcade racer. There is very little connection to the reality as the track twists and turns, looping back on itself many times over, with no real regard for gravity. The handling, or to name it correctly, drifting, is very similar to Ridge Racer, as all you need is a slight tap of the handbrake and enough of a curve to get the back end out for the points to come ticking around bit by bit. The primary source of the difficulty comes in the form of barricades, which not only slow you down, but if you hit just one, you lose your clean driving bonus for the race, which can be the end of any good leaderboard run you were having. It can be quite difficult to avoid the barricades, particularly in fast-paced songs as they come up very quickly and sometimes they're hidden around a corner or just out of shot as you flow around a loop. But when you happen to hit a ramp just wrong and find yourself careering towards one with no possibility of steering around it, it can feel a little cheap. Ultimately, the score is the only goal you are given as there is no career, but this is what you would expect given the type of game it is. The closest you get to a career system is quite a large number of built-in songs from a good range of genres, which easily demonstrate the capability of the track creator, whilst also providing a good proving ground for the diehards hammering the most popular songs. This isn't to say that other songs aren't popular. The large majority of songs I've tried have had at least 3 to 5 people to compete against, and it was only when I tried some really obscure tracks that I had to produce a new circuit. A major benefit to the competitive nature of the leaderboard system is the addition of a variety of ghosts to race against. You can race against your friends, the top scorer, or what the game considers a suitable match in ability, allowing you to challenge people at just about any level of the game, and you can pick up hints from the best racer on how to tackle the tracks, or you can just stick to racing your friends. Another good point to factor into this game is the variety of different cars in different styles, with a selection of Tron-style futuristic racers, as well as some with a Hot Wheels-esque edge, each of them looking pretty cool, playing into the themes of poster cars from everyone's childhood. They also have a large number of paint schemes which can range from very plain colours, or can consist of cars with lightning bolts down the side, and various two-tone schemes. All of the different cars and colour schemes can be bought with the in-game currency, which is acquired through several different routes. You can pick up the various tokens through the races, get a selection of points based on how well you score in the race, or even just by creating your own circuits, giving you an extra incentive to find unusual tracks. There aren't too many disadvantages to this game from my perspective. Obviously, the idea of racing music-based tracks, despite being theoretically limitless, will inevitably lose its buzz at some point, once you've learnt the different obstacles and how the tracks are usually built up. But this would be the case even in the most complex of games. And it is also slightly frustrating that if you're offline, you can only use the base tracks, as the service for producing new tracks is reliant on comparing it with the existing tracks created by other people, the idea being that someone can be the owner of a track. But on this front, at least it does have some playability available for the times where you can't get a connection. So what I'm trying to say is, it's a fun little game with a lot of potential for anyone who likes the rhythm genre, and wants a game that they can just pick it up and play it for a couple of tracks, just to put a bridge in their day. The game is a product of early access, which you wouldn't be able to tell particularly looking at it. Now the only telling sign that it's an indie product is a relatively basic menu scheme, but hey, it works and it isn't hard on the eyes, so what more do you want? From my time playing it, I can say that the most fun can be had when you find a song with a full 5-star difficulty rating, as this means you'll be subject to a much more intense experience. You see, I told you in the summer sale roundup I couldn't lose with this purchase.